Hey guys, this is on my phone. Sorry I don't have the Degrassi video out today. I didn't finish rewatching until late at night and I didn't have time to film, but I will put out 2 videos for you guys next Saturday. And next Saturday, I'm going to see Charlie Puth. So the 29th, you'll have Degrassi season 5 and season 6 coming out. And the week after that, you'll have Charlie Puth because I'm seeing him that night. I'm also going to Camden Yards, so it'll be a Camden Yards / Charlie Puth vlog. They'll come out in different parts. Obviously, the Camden Yards is during the day, so that'll come out before, and then Charlie Puth will come out after. But yeah, it's going to be a very big, fun-filled Saturday. I will bring my computer, and I will upload those videos at my friend Tori's house before we go out and do anything because I'm sleeping over. I just need to have people remind me to bring my camera. But yes, I will watch season 6 now so that I'll be able to film both of them this week and then get them out next Saturday. So that's why I apologize for not having a video out this Saturday, but I will definitely have 2 out next Saturday. You're getting treated, you're getting 2. And the last Wednesday video of rating horror movies for this spooky season will come out Wednesday. I love you guys, hope you're doing well. Bye.
Hi guys, I'm so sorry I didn't put up a video last week. I also made a video explaining why I didn't put up a video, and I didn't even put that one up. But in that video, I said that you're getting 2 Degrassi videos today to make up for last week and the one for this week. So, yay you! I'm just gonna do them in the same video. It'll just be easier. So we're doing season 5 and season 6 today. Now, before I jump into it, I wanna say these videos might be going up the day it's filmed, Friday, because I have a packed full day Saturday. I'm sleeping over at my friends tonight because we have a Camden Yards event from 12 to 5 tomorrow, and we have a Charlie Puth concert tomorrow. So I think I'm just going to put them up today, the day it's filmed, so you guys can watch it Saturday, or you can watch it Friday. I don't care, but this is the only video that'll be going out on Friday because of those circumstances. Yes, the Charlie Puth concert will be coming out next weekend, and if I can film some of the Camden Yards event, that'll be coming out too, and you'll get 2 vlogs. I'm gonna try to film the Camden Yards event because we'll be able to be on the field, so I'd like to film videos of us on the field, but you know, if I can, I can't, you know, it's just, but I do get a picture on the field and I will show you guys that. Okay, so, season 5, I need to pull up my little guide. Okay. So let's jump into the first episode, and it's called Venus, and it's solved in the second part, so let's just read both. Venus Part 1. In her pursuit to become a Hollywood actress, Manny contemplates getting plastic surgery after a casting agent criticizes her weight, and it doesn't sit well with her parents. Meanwhile, it's Craig's birthday, and Ellie decides to hide the fact that Ashley has a new boyfriend and is staying in London. Venus Part 2. When Manny rejects him, Peter releases the video of Manny flashing her breasts to the entire student body, which causes her whole life to fall apart. Meanwhile, Ellie and Craig are still mad at each other, but later form a connection when she becomes Downtown Squatch's new drummer. Downtown Sasquatches, I'm sorry. I've been watching Squatch Designs in season 6. Okay, so body image and sex tape. So Manny is really with her body image. I think that plastic surgery is never the answer unless it's for a medical reason. Like if you need plastic surgery to improve your health, yes, do it. But I think that your body is fine. Everybody's body is beautiful. Nobody needs plastic surgery. Sort of sex tape. So basically his mom ends up getting him in trouble, his mom being the principal. I think that was really cool to show that his mom still took her duties and like she didn't not get him in trouble because he was her son. I know a lot of TV shows go that way when characters do awful shit, and I'm glad Degrassi didn't go that way. Episode 3, Death of a Disco Dancer. Paige has her whole future planned out. She's going to be the best Canadian university, Banting. I think it means she's going to the best. Canadian University banding. She will live with Matt and everything will be perfect. That is until Matt comes back a changed man. Meanwhile, Jimmy is proud to be the new basketball coach, but a new member, Derek, causes trouble. So episode 3 is break up with a bad idea student teacher. We all know I didn't like her dating him. Pot as a dumping gift. Hi for the first time, and Derek makes fun of Jimmy. So, Jimmy does talk to Derek, and he's like, show off to your friends, and I know you will, but tell them you learned it from your coach, not the guy that got shot. And it was good for them to have that heart-to-heart conversation. Paige gets grounded. Paige's mom's friend told her that Paige was high, which, I mean, that's what people do. Episode 4, Foolin'. JT is happily in love with Liberty until she reveals that she is 4 months pregnant. The couple experiences problems as reality begins to set in. Meanwhile, when they begin dating, Spinner grows worried that Darcy will find out about his involvement in the school shooting. So JT and Liberty plan after breakup. They have this talk in the hallway where JT's like, I don't care, I'm not going to abandon this baby. And that's really good for him to be the person to say, I'm not going to abandon the baby. I don't care if we're not together anymore. I want to be involved. And I really want to commend JT for doing that because a lot of guys don't do that. Jealousy. Episode 5. Weddings, parties, anything. Downtown Sasquatch has a wedding gig, and Craig decides to put all his focus on the music. But things get complicated when Manny and Ellie vie for Craig's attention. Craig later forgives Manny for having an abortion of their child 2 years ago. Where does that happen? Okay. Meanwhile, Joey has a date with the bride's sister, but wonders if he's too old for her when he overhears her friends gossiping about him. So jealousy and JT offering to help. So when Craig talks to Ellie in the kitchen, and she's like, I don't usually dress up. This isn't me. I did this basically for you, which, okay. But she tells him that, and he's just kind of like throwing it off. And she's like, no, you're not hearing what I'm saying. And like, there's this whole fight, and it's messy. I do think that it was right for her to talk to him about how she was feeling. He goes and sees Manny at the end, and, you know, okay, yeah, talk to both girls. But then he kisses Manny. I just think that was the bad move. I never liked Craig and Manny. I just think, you know, whatever. But I'm glad that he talked to both girls and got both of their sides because that was a good move. Episode 6, I still haven't found what I'm looking for. At his father's urging, Jimmy tries out for the National Wheelchair Sports Association's junior basketball team. That's a long. Even though he wants to concentrate on his art. Meanwhile, Liberty and JT attempt to keep Danny from telling their parents about the baby. So, parent planning the future. Jimmy talks to his dad twice about how he thought he wanted to play basketball, but he's like, I can't do it anymore. It's not my thing anymore. I want to do art. I want to do something different. And he's like, I especially like the line where he's like, you're trying to bring the old Jimmy back. That Jimmy's gone. That Jimmy got shot. Like, that quote is so powerful, and I absolutely love it. Episodes 7 and 8, because they're 2 parts. Episode 7, turned out part 1. Liberty and JT are back together and looking to buy an apartment, but with no income, JT resorts to stealing and selling drugs to a dealer. Meanwhile, Emma, tired of being a third wheel to Manny and Craig, decides to go on a date with Derek, but she really wants to be with Peter. Episode 8, turned out part 2. JT learns that getting out of the drug dealing business is dangerous as he travels down a path of self-destruction that would cause him to lose the people about whom he cares the most. Meanwhile, Snake faces similar obstacles when he looks back onto his life and realizes that he isn't happy. Okay. So, 7 and 8 are about pregnancy and selling drugs. So JT overdoses because he's like, I can't deal with this stress. I don't want to be a drug dealer for the rest of my life. Liberty's pregnant. Like, he can't deal with the stress. So his best idea is to overdose on painkillers. And then they decide to put the baby up for adoption. Liberty's talking to him and she's like, look, you overdosed, you were selling drugs. It's just the best option for everybody. And it's sad, but it really was the best option. I'm glad she decided to do that. And JT, overdosing is never the answer. There's always somebody that can help you, Miss Obey. Your parents might not be happy, but they should at least offer to help you make a decision, whether it's whatever you want to do. Episode 9, Tell It to My Heart. While helping his new friend Tim, Marco faces his own reality and contemplates coming out to his father. Meanwhile, Emma likes the attention Peter gives her, even though she knows it would hurt Manny. Episode 9, Homophobic Father. So, there's one part of this episode that I really like. It's when boys push Tim into a locker and they call him F-A-G-G-O-T, right? And Craig is ready to throw down. Like, he flings his backpack off, he's ready to throw down. But I like when Marco, during his performance, sees his dad and says, Dad, I'm gay. Like, he comes out to his dad on stage. I wouldn't recommend coming out to your parent that way, but I do think it was a good way for Marco to do it. Like, I did think it worked for him, but I do think trying to come out to your parents would be the best option. I know it's scary, and I know you guys don't want to do it, but there will always be somebody that supports you. And if they don't support you, you can find friends that will. Episode 10, Redemption Song. The 1-year anniversary of the school shooting opens up old wounds for everyone involved. Spinner goes with Darcy to the Friendship Club's annual retreat, where he has to deal with his demons. Jimmy has to choose what direction he wants to take when it comes to Hazel and Ellie. So, feeling like you have to have sex. So, Darcy feels like she has to have sex with Spinner, so she starts doing it, and then she starts crying, and he's like, what's wrong, and she tells him, it's okay, Jay told me. He goes and stands up to Jay. I think it is good that he went to his friend, and he was like, hey, that's fucked up, why did you tell them they had to have sex with me? That's like fucked up. But you know, episode 11, The Lexicon of Love, part 1. At the premiere of Jay and Silent Bob Go Canadian, Paige and Alex discover they enjoy each other's company a lot more than they probably should. Meanwhile, Emma, on a date with her new secret boyfriend Peter, discovers another secret couple at the premiere, Snake and Miss Hatsalakos. Okay, so solve the next part. Episode 12, The Lexicon of Love, part 2. Alex and Paige are still confused over what happened the night before, and Kevin Smith helps Paige deal with her sexuality. Meanwhile, Emma feels compelled to tell her mother about what she saw, but when Snake asks her to keep it a secret, she has to make a difficult choice. Okay, questioning sexuality first. Paige talks to Alex about, like, the feelings and everything, and I think that was really good for Paige to do. Whenever you're feeling something about your sexuality, you should definitely talk to the person. That way you can both figure out how you feel and both make a decision on whether you want to be together or not. Simpson cheating. Emma tells her mom the news. I think that was amazing to do. You have to tell somebody when somebody else is cheating on them. They have a right to know. I hate when people are like, oh, well, you can keep it a secret. No, I'm going to tell the person because that's not fair to them. 13, Together Forever. Downtown Sasquatch have a shot at a record deal when a music producer shows interest in them, but they later find out he's only interested in Craig, who has to make a difficult choice. Meanwhile, Liberty prepares to give birth while dealing with the stresses of school. Sound showcase competition and Craig leaving for music. It's not really a problem, but there isn't much about this episode. Also, the baby is born, and Craig performs solo to do music. Leo only wanted him. So it's basically, this is the departure of Jake Epstein as Craig. And, you know, I think Craig really wanted to do music, and this was great for him. But he had to choose whether to keep the band or just him. And I feel like music was the right choice for him, but I think the rest of his band made the right choice about not going with him, because I feel like school was really their passion. I also hated Leo, but he also played Valentine in the Shadowhunters TV show, so I thought that was funny. 14, Eye Against Eye. The Friendship Club's opinions on sex and homosexuality threaten Spinner's newly repaired friendship with Marco. Meanwhile, Spike's friends visit her in order to cheer her up on her and Snake's 3rd anniversary. So, protest safe sex and religious nuns. I want to say something. Condoms don't make kids have sex, and Friendship Club kept spewing that crap. Condoms don't make kids have sex. Hormones Hormones make kids have sex. Condoms just protect the kids if they decide to have sex. Simpson cheating. So, but he made it up. No, he didn't. Not in this episode, sorry. He was cheating. That's still happening, ongoing. And Marco and Spinner make up at the end. They have a talk, and they make up, and Spinner apologizes, and all is forgiven. 15 and 16. Our Lips Are Sealed, Part 1, 15. Emma's life is in complete chaos as she feels she's losing all control. She soon finds her solution when she and Manny go on a strict diet regimen, which includes cutting off junk food, exercising, and purging. Meanwhile, tired of living with Joey, Snake makes an attempt to reconcile with Spike. Our Lips Are Sealed, Part 2. Emma's downward spiral continues as her dangerous diet turns into a full-blown eating disorder, and it could have dire consequences for her as her loved ones come together to help her. Meanwhile, Alex and Hazel try playing nice for Paige, who is tired of them being at each other's throats. So, 15, eating disorder. Simpson sings to Spike to make up. That cheating thing is figured out. And I thought that was really cute, how he did it in front of the whole mall and really put his heart into it, even though he can't sing. It was cute. 16. So, eating disorder, friends not getting along. So, the friends not getting along, they're covered in whipped cream in the mall jail laughing. That means they all got along because they all found it hilarious how they're covered in whipped cream and in trouble. Emma has a panic attack, so they get her into the hospital. She has a panic attack brought on by starvation. And that usually does happen. People with eating disorders start having other health problems. And, I heard some rumors that either she had an eating disorder or someone in her family did. And I want to say, I know Degrassi had already wrote the episode, but that was really poor planning. Because that was... Anyway, but bringing attention to it is good. So I do think Emma wasn't making the right choices, but I do think getting her into the hospital and then her mom telling her, no, sweetie, you can't come home. That was really good. I'm sorry, I got cold. That was really good on them. 17, total eclipse of the heart. Marco is interested in the prospect of a new romance with Tim, but when Dylan comes back into his life, he realizes their relationship might not be over. Liberty is overcome with guilt after giving up her baby for adoption after finding out the family is moving away. So, adoption questions, upset feelings about the baby, and underage drinking. What they do is they make a memento box for the baby, and I think that's a good idea. When a baby's adopted, you make a box of everything about you so the baby can find you in the future, can find their parents and their family. 18. High Fidelity Part 1. The students prepare for Degrassi's 50th anniversary variety show with Manny in charge. Spinner makes the mistake of lying to a jealous Darcy about his sexual past with Manny, causing issues in their relationship. Paige and Alex's relationship comes to an end when Paige becomes too controlling about Alex's future after graduation. So, pressure for sex. So, Spinner has a sex ceremony, cleansing himself from all his past sexual whatever, which was good because then he fixed his relationship. So, I would say that's kind of like coming to a compromise to do something to make your partner feel better. High Fidelity Part 2. Sorry, they're chopping down a tree or something. In the special 100th episode, graduation has arrived for the class of 2006 when two of their former classmates return for the celebratory event. After his night with Paige, Spinner is torn after Darcy tells him that she wants to get back together. Jimmy has to repeat his senior year after missing too much school while recovering from being shot and wonders if his feelings for Ellie are requited. Oh, this episode was released on my birthday. So Spinner had sex again. When he goes to see Darcy and apologize to her again before she's going to Bible camp all summer, he says, if she looks back at me before getting on the bus, I have hope. And she looked back at him. And that's a true thing. If people usually look back at you, that means you have some semblance of hope. So I think that was good for him to at least explain to her, look, I'm sorry, and get all that figured out. Now we're moving on to season 6 of Degrassi. Episode 1 and 2, Here Comes Your Man. Emma is happy being with Peter. That is until Sean returns to town and enrolls at Degrassi for the upcoming school year. She soon finds herself drawn to Sean as he and Peter get caught up in the street racing scene. Meanwhile, Marco grows overwhelmed when he has to juggle moving his stuff into his apartment with Dylan, choosing university courses with Ellie, and throwing Paige a going-away party. Also, Ellie struggles to deal with her new roommate and writes an anonymous article about it for the school newspaper. So, illegal street racing, and then the illegal street races in episode 2. Sean is arrested for running over a man, and he talks to Emma about how she has to help him. I think it was good for Emma to turn him over to the police. I think it was good for Emma to have him face up to the consequences of his actions. Episode 3, True Colors. Due to Jay's pleas, Emma visits Sean in jail where she realizes that he is in a lot of pain and does everything she can to help him out. Meanwhile, Ellie is devastated to discover that the first newspaper article she wrote has been rejected. Okay, so, aftermath of street racing. I think it's good that Emma breaks up with Peter because she realized he lied about setting up Sean. I think it's also good that she broke up with Peter because he just got a slap on the wrist. That wasn't fair, and then Sean went to jail. They were both... Peter should have gotten a little more, but... I mean, he got a suspended license, but that was the only good thing. Anyway, so... Yeah, I'm just glad she broke up with him and saw through his lies. You don't want to be with somebody that lies to you. Episode 4, Can't Hardly Wait. Jimmy starts coaching the girls' basketball team and wants to take his relationship with Ashley to the next level, but since his paralysis, he's not been able to get an erection. Meanwhile, Darcy, as a new Spirit Squad captain, clashes with choreographer Manny over new girl Mia. So, can't have sex, trouble getting it up, judgment on being a teen mom. So, Ashley and Jimmy talk about how he can't have sex during. She's like, there are a lot of different ways to make love, and she's right, there are. So, I like how she's, like, talking to him. Everybody in relationships should have a talk about anything like that, any little thing that could come up like that. Everybody in relationships should have a talk about that. I don't know how many times I say that. And trying other options together. They try the medication, they try to relax, like, they try all these different options for him. And Mia talks to Manny. Mia's like, I'm off the squad, and Manny's like, no, we can stand up to Darcy, we can get you on the squad. Eventually Mia does get on the squad, but they don't show us exactly how that happens, so I guess I'll just say problem solved. But I think it was good for them to have that talk, and to keep pushing her that you can be on the team. Okay. Episode 5 and 6. Episode 5, Eyes Without a Face, Part 1. Darcy is tired of her good girl reputation and strives for something more exciting. When Peter introduces her to an online admirer through her My Room page, Darcy begins exchanging racy photos of herself for gifts. Meanwhile, trying to move on from Liberty, JT finds himself interested in the new girl Mia. 6. Eyes Without a Face, Part 2. Darcy continues to post risque pictures on the internet, but she soon realizes how dangerous it is when her biggest fantasy is time to meet face to face. Meanwhile, Ellie doesn't want to be seen as a little girl in front of her older boyfriend and contemplates losing her virginity. Never lose your virginity for a guy you're dating. So, pictures on the internet, secret admirer. Man stalks Darcy, so the police investigate, so they're going to take her computer. Flashback to season 1, right? So, I do think it was wrong for her to put those photos on the internet. It was also wrong for this guy to come find her, but I'm not blaming Darcy. There could be people on the internet. Just don't post risky photos on the internet. Just don't chat with strangers. Just don't. Okay. Episode 7, Working for the Weekend. Spinner is upset over the results of his aptitude test, and when Jimmy decides to design and sell t-shirts, they go into business and open a store. Meanwhile, Alex returns to Degrassi to get more credits, but her bullying past comes back to haunt her. So, future goals, figuring out future, past haunts. So, Serena talks to Alex. That's the past haunts. So, Serena's like, you bullied me for all these years, you did things to me, and the worst part is you don't even remember. And Alex ends up apologizing. And even though Serena doesn't like that, I'm glad they talked about it. You can get your feelings out that way. And Jimmy talks to Spinner about your career isn't, like, useless. You just took a guy down like Jack Bauer, man. Like, he's like, you took this guy down. You could do something good with your life. Police officer, you know. Episode 8. Crazy Little Thing Called Love. Sean finally gets out of jail and reunites with Emma, thinking that he has the perfect girlfriend. But he soon realizes that she isn't as innocent as she seems, when you find out what she did with Jay last year. Meanwhile, Derek has a problem when Mr. Perino begins bullying him and Danny. Okay, so lying about sexual past, intimidating teacher. So Derek tells Simpson about Perino, then he has to tell the principal, and he's like scared. But I think that was a good idea to tell somebody about this teacher being rude, like being way more rude than they ever, like, you know, you just don't want people to be rude. And I think that, you know, it was a bad thing, and I think it was good that he told somebody that the teacher was acting inappropriately. Emma and Sean have a talk. Like I said, like all people in relationships should do. Emma and Sean have the talk where they're like, you know, we like, I can't be perfect. Like, we have to talk about these things. We have to be open about these things or this relationship isn't going to work. And I think that was a good conversation to have, because then it's like, you know, we want this relationship to work, so we have to talk about it. 9. Yeah, okay. 9. What It Feels to Be a Ghost, Part 1. Craig returns to town for a music festival and wastes no time in reuniting with Manny. But as Craig farther embraces his rock star lifestyle, Manny has to decide whether the new guy Craig is the guy she really loves. Meanwhile, an upset Liberty decides to tell Mia the truth about JT. So, drug addiction, lied about it. JT was forgiven when he tried to get a daycare at Degrassi. So he tried to get a daycare for Mia, and all's forgiven. Episode 10. What It Feels to Be a Ghost, Part 2. Ellie blames Manny for Craig's drug addiction, even though everyone else can see that he's lying. The Degrassi-Lakehurst school rivalry is heating up, and the Lakehurst gang are out to get JT for dating Mia, who used to date one of their gang members. So, Manny breaks up with him, Craig goes to rehab. So Manny breaks up with Craig because he's doing coke, which obviously people can't really deal with drug addiction, it's everyone's choice. But Craig goes to rehab. I think it was good for them to tell Joey and then Simpson to make sure he gets on the plane to go to rehab with Joey there. So I think that was good. 11. Rock This Town. Manny decides to throw a party at the Nelson's house when Spike and Snake are out of town and uses Liberty's birthday as a guise. But when word gets out, the night quickly spirals out of control, leading to a tragedy that the students of Degrassi will never forget. Excuse me. So JT gets stabbed. That stopped it. Not the best way, though. Obviously, JT getting stabbed wasn't the best way to solve the problem. But that's how they decided to show where a rivalry can go. And it was devastating. 12. The Bitterest Pill. In the aftermath of JT's murder, all of Degrassi are in mourning. While planning the memorial, Toby and Liberty kiss, and he soon wonders if he should let her know about JT's true feelings for her. Meanwhile, Ellie decides to tell Jessie that she kissed Craig, but receives some unexpected news. So, just a remembrance episode of remembering JT, how he always made everybody smile and laugh, and how he was just a fun-loving person. Episode 13. If You Leave. Emma causes a riot between Degrassi and Lakehurst when she feels that JT's death is being glossed over, while not knowing how to tell Manny that she doesn't want her to move back home. Meanwhile, Marco thinks Dylan is cheating on him again. So, friends feuding and suspected cheating. So, the suspected cheating, Marco talks to Dylan, and he should have from the beginning. I don't agree that he went to the meeting and was like, hey, do you know he has a boyfriend? And but I'm glad at the end of the episode when he actually talked to Dylan about what was going on and about his hockey future and how he thinks that he should do what he wants to do. Friends feuding. Manny and Emma talk at the spot JT died. So they meet there, and Emma tells Manny to meet her there, and they have a talk about, even though their friend died, like, they need to stick together, and she was just mad, and I think that was good. Friends need to talk about their disagreements, or they can't be friends. Like, it's just, if you can't talk about your problems, you can't really stay friends. 14. Free Fallen Part 1. Stressed at Banting, Paige has a panic attack during an exam. When her professor gives her another chance, she has to juggle catching up on her schoolwork and preparing a huge family dinner. Meanwhile, Peter wants forgiveness from Darcy, but finds out he has his work cut out for him. Episode 15, Free Fallen Part 2. In the aftermath of her dorm fire, Paige decides to drop out of college and move back to Toronto due to her poor grades. She now has to deal with her reoccurring panic attacks by herself since no one can know the truth. Meanwhile, Peter's determined to show Darcy that he's changed. So, panic attacks. Paige talks to her mom off screen, which I think it's a good idea to talk to your mom about, hey, I don't think this university is working out for me. I need to move back home. I need to go to a different university. And she unloads on Alex about everything that had been going on because Alex is the one that told her mom. I think it's just good to, if you're not figuring out at one, as long as you have another plan, whether you want to work, like school isn't for you, or whether you want to try a different school, I think your parents will be okay as long as you have a plan. 16, love my way. In an attempt to return to her pre-banting glory, Paige goes on casual dates with both Spinner and newly single Jessie, which makes Alex jealous. Meanwhile, Snake isn't comfortable with Sean and Emma's level of intimacy. So, 2 boys on the hook, prepared for sex. So Emma talks to Simpson about sex at the end of the episode. And I think it's good for them to have that talk. And she apologizes for her project. But I think it's good that she has a talk with him about that. Like, about sex. Like, he was unloading on her. And I think Spike was the one who gave her the advice. And Spike is a woman. So she knows what to tell, girls about it. And it doesn't need to be a family thing. It just needs to be like a 1 or 2 parent thing. Like, it doesn't need to be a whole... And 2 boys on the hook. Alex kisses Paige and confesses her love. I think that was a good move for her to get her feelings out. And I think it's good that she told Paige, but I don't think I think Paige needed to take a little bit. It took a lot out of Paige to hear that. I think she needed to take a little bit, but yeah, I always liked Alex and Paige together, so. 17. Sunglasses at night. Marco is having a hard time dealing with Dylan's departure and becomes addicted to online gambling. Meanwhile, Peter and Darcy have to make a decision about whether they should go public. Okay, so gambling. Marco has to pay back the money he stole from his dad, which means he has to work at his dad's work. And I think that was the best way to solve that problem. His dad had to talk to him and tell him, this isn't good. And Spinner having him arrested so his dad finds out, that's good. Because then he knew he was going to get the help that he needed. 18. Don't You Want Me Part 1. Alex becomes a waitress at a gentleman's club when she and her mother start drowning in financial debt, but she soon finds out that there's more money to be made on stage. Meanwhile, Emma's upset when Sean's plans for the future do not include her. Episode 19, Don't You Want Me Part 2. Alex's double life is finally bringing in the cash, but having to hide it from Paige is taking its toll on her schoolwork and her relationship. Meanwhile, with the end of the winter term around the corner, Sean and Emma continue to fight over him joining the army and leaving her alone and pregnant. Financial problems and stripper to make money and Sean going to war. So the financial problem and the stripper to make money, Alex talks to Paige about her financial problems and Paige is like, look, you can move in with me then. Because her mom got Chad out of jail. So Alex was explaining her awful life and Paige is like, look, come live with me. And I think that was good, giving her another place to stay while she waits to get on her feet. Emma talks to Sean at the dance about how I'm not pregnant. She's like, I'm not pregnant, and he's like, I'm going. And they have that talk about, well, we're going to be okay, right, type of thing. And it's really hard. When people decide to do that because you're worried about them 24/7, but I think that having a talk about it is definitely the right way to go. So those are the 2 seasons. We'll do season 7 next Saturday along with Charlie Puth next Saturday. So look forward to that. And I kind of went really fast, but I think I gave you guys everything. And that video will be going up today, Friday, October 28th. So yeah. And you guys can watch it the 29th. So yeah. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!